It's a Friday night, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Cozy Sips with Cat. I'm Cassie.
I'm Ty.
Let's get cozy on a sip of romance while we chat about books, life, love, and sex.
Listen to a little bit of the morning by the weekend, which is our guest today, Kimmie Ferrell's favorite song. And we'll ask her a little bit about why this is one of her favorite songs. So let's listen to a little bit before we get started. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Prince, just a little bit.
The music does. It definitely gives Prince vibes.
All right, we here in the place. I'll tell you a little bit about our show. It's Cozy Sips with Cat, where we do our best to highlight authors, up and coming, already established, any author that's out there trying to make waves or already making waves. That is our goal, to shine light on who we are and hoping that we open it to, and broaden our horizons and keep the network going. So it's all about celebrating. Uh, I'm going to say
Authors,
this for right now.
romance authors.
Black authors, in the future it might expand, but right now I'm worried about my sisters and my brothers at this point. I'm just being putting out there. I'm being honest about it. So what I want to do is tell you a little bit about myself and let Cassie, my co-host, talk a little about herself. I'm Ty. I'm dropping off the love. I'm gonna keep saying this, people get used to it, because some people, when they see Ty, like, is that you? Yes, it is me. I'm dropping off the love because I want to expand more into women's fiction and young adult. And so it won't just be Black romance, even though that is what I'm known for, and I will still have those kind of stories. And I have a new one coming out next Friday, a week from today, actually, a week from today, coming out, called Lipstick Diaries Chemical Reaction. I can't wait till y'all read it. All right.
I'm
Let
ready.
Cassie, let Cassie speak a little bit.
I am Cassie Verano, interracial, multicultural, steamy, erotic romance author. Uh,
Erotic.
don't start with me tonight. I absolutely love writing stories that get you dripping wet. My whole goal is to get your panties wet, ladies. Let's be honest. So, I have a book coming out that is a part of the Savage Bloodline DeLuca series on March 7th, and you'll be able to check that out. We'll drop the link in the comments so you can go ahead and pre-order it now because Marco is a savage and you want to get to know
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Just want to add on that, I was a part of that Savage series, the first round, when I had Gianni DeLuca. So not in the second round, but that's okay. You can still catch Gianni.
him.
First thing
Absolutely.
I want to ask, we always ask this, what is your cozy sip, Miss Cassie?
I am sipping on Stella tonight in my new wine glass that has our show title on there, Cozy Sips with Cat, and our little slogan, A Sip of Romance. Y'all like that? We already starting to get a little merch. We starting to get a little merch. Y'all like that?
And
Makes the wine that much sweeter.
that it does. And I'm going to say that I was supposed to have my glass, but I forgot I didn't even order it. So just realized I didn't even order mine until yesterday. So I will
What
have
y'all
my,
gonna learn is I have to stay on top of her all the time.
yeah,
She just is who she is, but we love
I
her.
am. I was,
So what are
I
you
have, I
sipping
have
on?
ADD and I've learned to compensate, but this is where it comes out. This is when it comes out at times. But I am drinking, which is, I did it again tonight, and I think I made it a little bit too strong, so I'm gonna be a little loose. But this
Uh-oh.
is my amaretto sour. So
Mm.
I'm gonna be like, a little tipsy. I'm gonna say that. Okay.
You know, the first time I had an amaretto sour, we were in a country western bar on a trip with my husband's company, and they were having karaoke night, and we were feeling really good that night. And my husband, God love him, got up and sang. He thought he was singing Otis Redding, "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay,"
Uh-huh.
but they had a country western version. And he had no problem letting them know that y'all beat is off. Y'all need to get it right. So I can't sing to this. But anyway, that was my first time having an amaretto sour, and I fell in love with it. That was many moons ago. Love it. Favorite drink.
That, yeah, it has definitely become definitely one of mine. I want to give a shout out to my shirt. Shirt, y'all recognize this? Anybody recognize who this couple is? Anybody? Anybody?
Lift it
It
up.
is. Can you see it?
Uh huh.
Can
I
you
can
see
see
it?
it now.
For
I can
those
see it.
who
I can see it
love,
to the bottom of the heart.
do you know who this is?
Uh-uh.
You ever watch Last Dragon
Oh yeah, that
with
was
Bruce Leroy and Vanity?
yeah, that was way back, way back.
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh,
This is my one of my very first romances I fell in love with was The Last
oh,
Dragon.
I
Yes,
love that show. But you was just a kid back then.
I was real
Fall
young, but it
in
was
love
like
with romance.
I'm telling you, it's been forever. Like it's like, oh, I remember being a little girl. Mom was like, "Are you? This is supposed to be like karate movie. You all in love with Timac?" I'm like, it's like
But he was
whatever.
such a cutie pie. He
Oh my
was such
God,
a
was
cutie
he?
pie.
Was he? Was he?
Uh,
So yeah. So
you were
this is
destined to be in the romance world.
apparently, apparently I was. Apparently I was. But without further ado, I want to give our author plenty of time to talk a little bit about herself. This is what I know of Miss Kimmie Farrell. Farrell. I'm gonna keep get it right. It looks like Farrell, but it's Farrell, like this, the pop hip hop artist Farrell. Miss Kimmie Farrell from and we're gonna talk a little bit about her. She said that she was an avid reader, um, like loving all of our romance books, and then she decided to put pen to paper, and she has came out swinging, doing really well with her books, and I really wanted her to be a part of this show, one of our first guests, because there are people out there who want to know, like, who really love reading. How do you, cross over from reading to writing? And so I definitely want her to come out and talk about that experience. But I'm very proud of her. We did a series together last year, a Christmas series. And her book was called Nine Frosty Nights, and mine was uh, Seven Peppermint Kisses, and it was a blast working with Miss Kimmie. Had opportunity to meet her, so we just had a blast, and I am very happy to have her here as she talks about her work. All right. So without further ado, we're gonna pull Miss Kimmie Ferrell up on the scene.
Welcome, Kimmy.
Hi.
Hey, we're so excited to
Hello.
have you here tonight.
Yes, welcome, welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
Yay! What is your cozy sip?
I am sipping Moscato,
Mm,
Mm.
and
nice.
I'm sipping out of a glass that my best friend got me for Christmas, I think this was. So,
Oh, oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
I'll shank a bitch for you. Okay.
And the thing is,
That is
I'm
Perfectly
the one
ride or
fitted.
that
die.
do the shanking. She's not. So,
That's a true friend, though. That's a true friend.
yeah.
She just letting you know
Love
what
that
she'll
cup.
do for you.
Yes.
Yes. And before we jump into, I do want to ask about your music choice. You chose The Morning by The Weekend.
I'm blushing. Okay, that's bad. That's the weekend. Abel is bad. That's my husband. Um, I fell in love with his music back in 2011, and The Morning was the first song that I heard from him.
Wow.
So I have like a emotional attachment to that song. So when I hear it, I get into this groove. When he performs it and I'm at concerts, I get emotional like that. That's the song that pulled me in.
Wow. So is he like on your playlist, anything like that? Like, he has to be on your playlist. He has to be
Yeah.
when you're writing.
Funny thing is, like every time I write, I make it a mission to add one of his songs.
Hmm.
And my latest release, Only for Tonight, is basically based off one of his songs, Wicked Games, where he actually
Mm.
says the lyrics only for tonight. And that's how I got the title of the book. So
Nice.
Nice. I
yeah,
like.
I will. He always finds a part, like Easter eggs, my friends understand it, but
Hmm.
he will always find his way into a book. If he mentions the word 707, my character might wake up at 707. He
Oh, that is
always
very
finds a way.
creative, Kimmy. That is very creative.
I
Why
have
don't
to.
you?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was going to just ask you about that competition you won with Harlequin.
I didn't win. I was top 10. I was top 10,
Okay. Okay.
and they ended up I would say about a few months after they announced the winner, they got rid of the Kimani line.
They sure did.
So
Yeah.
I don't
Yes,
know what would have come from that, but
but still, congratulations, because
That
that's
you
one of
even
thank
the
made it
you.
that far.
yeah, because that's one of the hardest industries to get into. Is, it might seem some, but it's not, to do black romance. It's like once they choose who they want, it's hard to break in. They'll keep giving the
It
same
definitely
authors
is.
chance after chance. So congrats that you even made it that far. You're a finalist on the Kimani line that
Thank you.
unfortunately no longer is here. Uh,
Right.
I hate that though. I do hate that they
Yeah.
No, I do.
got rid of Kamani
I
line.
get what I get where they were like, oh, we want to integrate lines, but I'm going to remain quiet on that because
You never know, because you never know. So yes, I understand. Remain quiet. Remain quiet. This because this might come to haunt you at one point. They'd be like, she was on some show
they're
talking
like,
about
didn't you just say?
yes.
And I'm like, yeah, I said it. I said it, but
And a
I
woman
still
has a
want.
right to change her mind.
I'm not gonna change my
Yes,
mind, but
Always
hey, just
change your
hear
mind.
me.
gotcha. Yeah. So I
Why
know you
don't
about
you
that stuff.
tell us about Only for Tonight? Speaking of that book.
Oh gosh. That book was probably the hardest I've ever written.
Okay.
I I love it. I love the characters, but because it took me out of my comfort zone.
Mm,
Mm,
That
okay.
that was
And it's
me
paying
telling
off.
them
And it's paying
it.
off.
That's what everybody's saying, and for me, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, great, you like it, but in my head, I'm like, oh God, did I do this right? How were they? The writing process was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And, like my sister is my biggest supporter.
Mm-hmm.
So she saw the grabbing the hair, the I can't do this, I quit. Even I would say probably 4 days before I did the cover reveal,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to scrap the novel. It was
Wow.
So
like
why
before
did
Wow.
it pull you out of your comfort zone? Why was that a hard write for you?
I am a cutesy contemporary romance writer.
Okay, okay,
And Only for Tonight is a erotica.
yeah,
It's in your face. It's using words that I don't use in other stories.
that makes sense.
And
That absolutely makes sense.
it was like I'm in a box and
Yeah.
I'm in the middle and I've been happy here. But
Mm,
Yeah.
these characters was like, no, let's go.
mhm,
We need you to come
mhm.
out.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah. I got
they
And
that.
took
I can
me.
relate to that. I was just
I
telling
can do that.
Ty last night. My struggle was writing sweet contemporary romance. I did
Yeah.
it as a ghostwriter, and I
Mm,
started trying to do it for myself, and I had no problem doing it for a ghostwriting. But to me, I got bored. I need the drama. I need the high intensity sex. I need all the passion. And that's just who my personality is. So on the opposite side, I definitely understand where you're coming from that when you're forced out of your comfort zone.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I get
Yes.
they
that.
really forced me. They forced me.
I love
And
that. I love that.
it needed to happen. I don't want to be seen. I don't want Kimmie Ferrell to be a one type of one genre person, you know?
Mhm,
Like I want to be able to sit down and write. And it's not that I don't have sweet contemporary, no sex type. I do.
mhm,
I actually have several stories that would be Hallmark movies
mhm,
Yeah.
that I'm working on. But
Yeah.
I also have these stories, these characters who are like, no, I
mhm.
like to play with this. I want to do this. I want him to choke me a little bit. I want us to do group sex. I want this. And I'm like,
Right.
well, okay, but just hold on. Let me get comfortable.
But
And
would you say that it has
unfortunately,
challenged
not
you and stretched you and grown you?
they would not stop talking. They were like, we're gonna write our story now.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about that children's romance book that you want to write with that. You're gonna write our story right now,
Hmm.
and this is how it needs to go. And I'm like, oh. Do I have to say that word?
I love it. I love the characters are speaking to you. I know. I think as writers we can relate to that. We can relate. It's like what would yes,
Absolutely.
what would Bakari say right now? Yeah, we can definitely relate to what the
Don't mention Bakari. Ooh, child.
Readers, if y'all don't know Bakari, you need to go check out Bakari. That's my book bay right there. That is my book bay all day long. All day long.
Yes.
forbidden
He is
series. The
everything.
forbidden series.
You need to drop that down in the comments too so that we can
Oh
make
right, yeah.
You
sure
Put a
that
little
can
note.
have
you
Bakari.
I was like,
You can have Bakari. I love Bakari, but you can have him. But Quincy? Oh yeah,
oh, you
no.
from Autumn Falls? Okay.
he was another
It's
good.
crazy
That
because I was in Thailand
actually
like I'm a band geek. I'm a band geek. I love it.
Oh, because he was
Quincy
all
all
day
day every
yeah,
day.
he was drum major. Yes, yes, which was
that was
based on
her
a true
Yes.
second
story.
book that
If
I
I had a
read
crush
this
on
time.
I had a crush on a drum major. That was me all day. So yes, but anyway,
Me
That was
too.
my
Me
second book of
too.
yours that I read, and I fell in love with him too. That was a good
Yeah.
book. That was a
thank
really good
you,
book.
thank you.
Yes. And of course, I
Um,
fell in love with Tristan and Phoenix story and the Miss Gracie. We know why that is. That
appreciate it.
story.
You give me a good shout out for all my books. I appreciate it.
Look, Todd, me and my best friend used to buddy read your stories. Like she was laying on my floor, like we had a sleepover. I'm in bed, she's
Oh,
on the floor, we're reading the end game, and she's like, "Did you get to the part when?" And I'm like, "Girl, no, I'm not there yet. Hold on." Like, yeah.
I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. But
Yeah.
that brings up the next question. How did you come from? What made you say, look, I'm going to take that chance and write
Oof.
myself?
It it was a journey. I started writing, like I got this huge box of Harlequin stories from my mom. I don't think she knew what was in the box. So I was reading romance novels at about 13, 12,
Hmm.
13, and the box contained stories of people who did not look like me. And at that point in time, I did not have the resources to go to the library. Like I couldn't go to the library because of my neighborhood, where it was situated, to go
Okay.
check out books. So I was like, I'm just going to write my own stories. And I didn't know about, Brenda Jackson and Donna Hill. I didn't know about them yet. And I was
Wow.
like, well, I'm just going to do it myself. And then finally I went to the library and then I saw these books and I'm like, I can do this. So I started writing and I gave my friends, books. Well, I gave them the stories that I was writing, allowed them to read my notebooks, allowed them to read my poems at the time, and they would give me critiques. Okay, you're saying this, but maybe you should say this, or how do you know about this? How do you know about that? And I took their feedback and I just kept writing.
And that's a hard
And
process to open yourself up to people like that and be able to accept that feedback.
it
And readers
is.
don't necessarily know that, but it's a
It
very
is.
difficult,
It
sometimes
is.
painful process.
It is. That's why you were going to scrap your book because you were worried about.
Definitely. It was, I think that with it being friends, their critiques are the hardest. Um, I just tweeted a couple of days ago that my alpha reader just put a dagger through my heart because she's reading my work in progress, and I use quotes because I'm not supposed to be writing, but I'm writing. And she was like, "I'm just not vibing with this story." And I was like, "Lord Jesus, you're my best friend. How could you say this?" But I get it. For her, she wasn't vibing with it, but the other beta reader, well,
Hmm.
alpha reader,
Hmm.
she's like, "Girl, I love it. Let's keep going." So I'm like, okay. So when you have friends like, "Yeah, no, I don't like how this sounds," or "This sounds a little weird. Maybe you should switch it up." You take those critiques harder, especially if they say
Oh,
that
most definitely, most definitely. I didn't know
because you're
that's
supposed to rap to like everything, but it is what it
yes.
is.
Especially like you said, it's your baby. So you give it's like I'm giving my baby. You just told my baby ugly. So it's like
Right?
So
You
it's
just said
like
my baby was horrible looking. What are
exactly. You just said that
No,
I
you know what they said. They didn't tell you your baby was ugly. She said, "Bless your heart." That was sick. That was sick.
you? Ooh, ooh, she looked just like her daddy.
Yeah, that.
You just called him
she
ugly.
looked like your
Okay.
people. She looked like your people. Okay.
But you know
Like
what? I
what?
can relate to that because
Yeah.
I went through something like that, and I called Ty, and I was all in my feelings. And one of my beta readers, she basically wanted me to trash my book, and I even considered it. And the funny part about it was because I was like, "Oh, is it that horrible?" But I went ahead and put it out there anyway, and it is my second highest selling
Wow.
book, and people loved it. So you some people are going to love it and some
Some
people aren't,
people are
and it's
not.
and that's okay. Everything isn't for everybody. You just have to find out who it's for.
Yeah.
I
And that's
think I'm
oh go
getting
ahead.
to that point where
Hmm.
it like where I'm trying to realize like everybody isn't going to love everything you do. But I'm
Hmm.
a people pleaser, so I'm like, you have to love it. I have to put this in it so that they love it. They need to love it. If they don't love it, then what happened? So I'm
And I don't
learning.
think you're alone in that because the thing about it is we do write because it's a passion for us, but we also want people to enjoy it. So it's
Absolutely.
not
Right.
it's not even though I might be like, long as one person like it, but of course I'm lying. Gotta be more than one person that like it. But I say that to myself, like long as I'm good, but that's not true. That's just the reality is when you're creating something that's from you, you really hope that the message you're trying to convey is accepted, received, and received well. And
Right.
you have to accept that even though that is your message, some people are going to get it and some people are not.
Hmm.
And you have to leave it alone.
And that's okay, and keep it
And
moving on to the
and
next one.
Cassie, no, I don't believe in leaving books done that's not out there in the world. Don't believe in that. She got about 50 books that need to be out in the world that she
I'm gonna
is
need you
keep
to drop
turning
them.
out.
Not necessarily.
She probably got to write though. She ain't probably got to write for 2 years if she just dropped the book she already got. I can almost
This
guarantee
show
she
ain't
probably.
about me. This show ain't about me. This about
Okay,
Kimmy.
you're right. It's not.
Now,
Let me
with
go
that
back to
being
Kimmy.
said, Kimmy, if you were to write a book about your life, what would the title be?
Oh God. I literally just asked this question. Like I just answered this question, but I don't remember what I said. And it was a good title too. So now I'm like, um, gosh, I don't know. Um, obstacles, they happen.
Okay.
Failure
Okay.
happens, but get back
Okay.
up and try again. I guess.
Okay. You like a
Like
Leah?
it'll
Try
be a
again.
very long title.
Oh
It'll
my
be all
God.
that. It'll be all that.
Yes. Keep trying again. That's what's
Now
in there.
that sounds like a self-help
keep,
book more
keep
than
trying
anything else.
again. Yes.
Nothing beats a failure but a try. Is that what it is?
Gotta keep trying. Get on the horse and ride again.
And there you
All
go.
right.
Just do it.
All right. Now, when I'll ask you this, like in terms of, have you ever experienced a trope in real life? Any of the tropes that we write about as romance authors, have you ever experienced that in real life? And which one?
Ooh, second chance. Oh gosh, I'm blushing.
Oh, she is. She's blushing. The second chance.
But okay. Oh gosh. Kimmy. Okay.
You really put her on the spot with that one, Tom.
Look, look. I ain't know she was gonna blush. I know. I know.
Oh gosh. And we ain't even together now.
But it's
This might
okay
be a
that you
third
want your
chance.
second
It might
chance.
be a
It's
third
okay.
chance now. She said she's still blushing. Might be a third chance on the way.
Do you
Oh,
do you do you want to send him a message through this show? He might see it. Somebody might get this show out to him.
Uh,
Just tell him a little something, something. Just say
I'm gonna
whisper a
put it on
few
my
sweet
I'm gonna put
nothings
it
in
on
his
my
ear.
Twitter timeline, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, I did an interview," and if he just so happens to click the link, that's him talking about you.
Excuse
Oh,
me.
I had a childhood sweetheart who oh goodness. I had a
she's still
childhood
blushing.
sweetheart and we broke up and then we got back together and we have been sort of kind of friends, but we're not friends, but we're still in each other's lives, but we're not.
Gotcha.
So,
Uh,
I
so
like now you're
hopefully
making me
after this
blush. I'm
show,
blushing too. I'm sitting there
no,
like,
but hopefully after this show, you'll get the courage up to maybe send a little text
no,
or
no, no, no. He needs to get the
slide into
courage up.
his
I'm done. I'm
DMs
tired.
and just tell him you
she said, no, I
thinking
ain't
about
encouraging
him.
that. But she got serious on that. Oh no, I ain't encouraging that. She got serious real quick. So she said, there's no
Oh
third chance
gosh,
romance here.
Kimberly. Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for your this or that?
Yes.
Okay. Elevator or escalator?
Elevator.
Missionary or doggy style? I love how she
Missionary.
blushes. Gag or blindfold?
Oh, you gotta be, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Gag or
blindfold.
blindfold?
Yeah, I'm about to go with
Blindfold.
that.
Take away one of the senses. Take away the sight.
Cuffs or flogger?
Cuffed.
Cherries or whipped cream?
Cherries.
Tongue or lips?
Tongue.
See, I behaved myself. That wasn't so hard, was it?
Look at me. Look at me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
You
flawed
know,
question kind of caught
I
me off guard. I'm like,
Which one?
flawed?
huh?
No,
Oh,
no.
Oh, oh.
that was not
Flawed?
bad.
Oh, look, I'm over here trying to answer. I'm like, let me.
Kimmy, Kimmy, on our last show, I was asking her sister questions and I had her apologizing to her mommy and daddy. She was like, sorry, mommy, sorry, daddy. I behaved myself tonight. I feel like I'm redeemed. Y'all think
My
No,
I'm
sister
redeemed?
would
no,
probably enjoy that though.
no.
So my sister would
Nah.
have been like,
What you said?
flogger.
You said the cuff or the flogger. I'm like, can you say both? It's like,
Yeah. Like really.
I think that, yeah, I think both.
It's just
It
like take all
depends.
control away.
It
The
depends.
cuffs on the wrist and the ankles.
So I would say it depends on if it's me in the position where he is cuffed and I can use the plug on him, but you're not gonna
Hmm.
hit me. You're not
I'm,
finna.
I'm gonna I'm, I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told her sister. There is pleasure at the brink of pain. Just gotta be willing to step over the line just a little bit, just a little bit, just toe the line. You know what? I sound like I'm that little devil on her shoulder right now.
like,
Do it,
just jump,
Kimmy. Do
just jump,
it.
just jump.
It's high over there.
Do it.
Hi,
I'm all
that little
like,
angel over there talking about some. Don't listen to it. Don't
oh
listen
no, I'm like, I'm no, I'm on, it's two devils right now. I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my angel isn't right there, right there. My angel is gone.
Cheers to flogging.
And don't forget being completely submissive.
Yes, that part.
Uh, okay,
That
all
part.
right, all right. So, is there any give you a few minutes to plug whatever book you want to plug if you want to plug more than one book. I do want to say I did,
Both.
yes, I did enjoy your Nine Frosty Nights. I thought you did, just the way you described make, the Northern Lights in Iceland. I was like, "Oh, you make me want to go for real." And there was some steamy sex in there. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, never mind. But go ahead.
Go on and put her on blast. Put her on blast.
I'm just trying to
Tell
say
it
that,
all.
Say it.
huh?
Say it.
No, I'm just saying it was steamy sex. You acted like you don't write about that until you got to this one. Now this one might have been.
Okay,
I
so
haven't read your latest, so maybe I could. What you just said, I know is a lot more freakier, but you did have some
oh
pretty
yeah,
steamy. You did have some pretty steamy sex in Nine Frosty Nights. I just want to make that clear.
that was the beginning of it. That
Oh,
that was the beginning of the change. Where,
got you,
and my sister will tell you,
got you.
my book needed to be to my editor like that day, and it was 9 a.m. in the morning, and I'm walking through our apartment, and I have a bottle of wine, and I'm like, I need to write. I gotta write. It's a sex scene. And she's like, well, all right, do you? And
I
I
mean,
got
Well,
you kind of had to with Sherelle Green on there, and and then you got Nicole Fall.
but look,
You,
I'm on Amazon right now, and you got quite a few reviews on both of these steamy books. So there's something to be said about all that good
exactly.
sex.
That's why I'm sitting here
You're
like,
doing your thing, baby girl. You're doing your
thank
thing.
you.
I'm just like, yeah, I'm sitting there reading it like, what she talking about? What she talking about?
Ty,
The crazy
cheers
part
to the
is
steamy sex.
Yes, cheers to
the
the
Yes.
steamy
yes.
sex.
I have never gone to Iceland, and the way that people are like, you described it perfectly, and I'm
I
like,
was about to
oh,
ask about that.
okay.
It
I
did make me
never
feel like I
went.
was there. I don't like cold weather
I
at
wanted
all,
that.
but
I
it did make
wanted
me
that.
say, to see the Northern Lights, all you would see is my eyes, but I would try it. It's like
I
try it.
wanted that. And it's crazy because Farrah Rashawn just went to Iceland.
She did. I
And
saw
so
on her
Oh,
she's
Facebook. Yes,
tweeting about her Iceland experience.
she
And I'm
did.
like,
She
I
did.
wrote about that. I wrote about
Yes.
that. She's
Yes.
where she's on a farm and I wrote about that. And
Yeah.
everything that she did, I wrote about in my book. And I was like,
uh,
that's really on. So,
That's
yeah.
good.
So I have 9 Frosty Nights, my baby,
yeah.
and and then my troublemaker.
Yes. Yes. I love that cover.
Yes. It's right. It's right.
Sherelle Green.
It's rocking. It's
Oh,
rocking up the
she
charts.
It is.
Sherelle Green. I love that woman so much. Like that is my heart and soul. She is everything, and she freaked the hell out of this cover. And I say that because I'm indecisive.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, Sherelle, I need a book. I need a book. And she's like, well, what's the name of the book? And I told her the name. And I'm like, but I don't have any ideas. I don't know. Have fun. And she's like, okay. And she came back with 2 concepts. And I was like, I see something dark. I see sexy. And then she came back with that. I'm like, girl, why are you inside my head? How did you know?
She's good at
How?
covers.
She
Yes.
did it. She
Did
did
you
it.
come to me in a dream? Did I astro project to you? How did you know? But 9 Frosty Nights features Hayden and Daxton, um, and it's a workplace relationship. I use quotes because Hayden wasn't supposed to be there, but things happen. And they tour Iceland over the span of 9 nights, 9 days and 10 nights, or something like that. And Only for Tonight features Amar and Xander. It is an older woman, younger man romance.
I type.
One night,
I
yeah,
love younger men. I love
one
younger
my,
men.
my type. My type. And it features friend groups and what else? One night stand is kind of a insta love, is what some people are saying. It's an insta love. It's very steamy. Not sex on the first page, but you get action within the first, I guess, 20 or some pages. I because some people want that. Some people like, where do they bump booties at? They do.
Not bump booties. I love it. Bump booties.
When do the genitals meet? When do they? They do, but I just don't know what pain. But it was one of the hardest books.
Well, clearly
Those
you
are my
did. You did
babies.
your job.
Yes, you did your
You
thing.
did your job.
Thank
So
you.
hey, and when it's hard like that, that's only meant to stretch you and to grow
Yeah.
you. And I'm sure that you've got so much more in you to come.
I hope so. I'm taking a break from writing right now because those two, and they're still talking. So they won't be quiet.
No.
Mm, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
Well, guys, as we get ready to wrap up this show, make sure you check out Arthur Kimmie Ferrell on Amazon or at arthurkimmieferrell.com. And it is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So just take a look down there and check her out. Check out her books and share this show across social media so everybody else can get hip to her books. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
good night.
Bye. Good night. And I'm about to